Hey, welcome to Speaking Out of Character. This is where we have a discussion pertaining to different issues in role playing games. Today, I want to talk to you about why I believe humans are the best race to play in Dungeons and Dragons 5e. And I think that Tasha's Cauldron of Everything kind of like verifies that too in a way. And we'll get to that in a moment. But I want you to think about it, right? You play a human gets that +1 ability score increase in all the abilities. Or you could take the variant human traits that will give you a +1 in 2 abilities, and then a proficiency in 1 skill of your choice, and then 1 extra feat of your choice. That's pretty nice, right? Pretty diverse. And here's the thing: what most people like to do is play the human behavior and culture. So what do I mean by that? Not the dwarf, not the halfling, and not an elf. Yeah, and think about this for a second. I pick an elf race so I can live hundreds of years, have dark vision, keen senses, that fey ancestry, right? So I don't have to be able to sleep or be put asleep. And then on top of that, I could get those nice abilities under that sub race, right? You know what I'm talking about, right? But all the while, my elf will act just like a human in every other way. I mean, I'm gonna role play him like a human. I'm not going to utilize those behaviors that elves are supposed to have, right? I want the diversity of a human with the benefits of an elven race, right? But the thing is, if you're gonna make an elf, be an elf. Now I know that some can deviate from that, but the majority of people who role play all these different, whether it's a dwarf, a halfling, they really role play them as humans. And you think about this for a second. The very first thing you got to do in creating a character is choose a race, right? And this is in the player's handbook, signifying that the race of a character is the very foundation, the very first thing of creating a character. That's how important it is. It says on page 11 of the player's handbook that every character belongs to a race. And then in the second paragraph, it goes on to say that the race you choose contributes to your character's identity in an important way by establishing general appearance and natural talents gained from the culture and ancestry. And think about on page 17, if you go to page 17, it says your character race not only affects your ability scores and traits, but also provides the cues for building your character's story. Each race description in this chapter includes information to help you role-play a character of that race, including the personality, physical appearance, features of society, and racial alignment tendencies. I mean, it goes on, right? Now, it does say that you can deviate this if you want to from the norm. But at least in lots of videos I watch, lots of games, people really play humans. They make these other races, but they want that benefit of just being diverse, right? And if you take, for instance, a good example of this is the dwarf. If you go to page 18 and read about the dwarf, let's just read part of it. Dwarves are solid and enduring like the mountains they love, weathering the passages of centuries with stoic endurance and little change. They respect the traditions of their clans, tracing their ancestry back to the founding of their most ancient strongholds in the youth of the world, and don't abandon from these traditions lightly. So even that, and I could go on, there's so other things that define dwarves and behaviors. But even that alone, when people role play the dwarves, do they really, think about that. Do they really, they hold on to that ancestor, those stories, those traditions and stuff? Or do they abandon them and just kind of play them like humans, right? So that's the thing. Humans are like the most diverse. They can act any way. They can physically look in any way. Think about it. They could be short and muscular as dwarves. That's right. They can be tall and beautiful like elves. That's right. They can be small and plump like halflings. You can be any beautiful skin color you want, right? There's so many beautiful skin colors, and et cetera, et cetera. And think about it. Humans could be any alignment with widely varying taste and morals and customs. I mean, they literally are the most diverse race in all of Dungeons and Dragons 5e. And you're even thinking on page 17, where it says humans are the most common people in the world of Dungeons and Dragons. That's right, they said it. But they live and work alongside dwarves, elves, halflings, and countless of other fantastic species, right? But they're the most common in the world of Dungeons and Dragons. And that's why I really like Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. If you look under customizing your origin, any race can have they made it now that any race can have the ability bonus and not follow that archetype of the race, even the proficiencies. Now, in a way, I kind of dislike that because you're changing a major part of the race, right? And I think it takes away from the diversity of those races, the specialness of those races, by kind of like taking that away. But I gotta tell you, but I do love in Tasha's Cauldron and everything. I do love the custom lineage. That is pretty awesome. So everybody can make what they really want. You can make a character look in any way you want them to look. You can increase any ability you want. You can pick a feat that you want. You can pick a trait like a proficiency in any skill of your choice. You can speak common and then any other language that you want. A matter of fact, come and think about it, doesn't that sound a lot like a human? I think so, and this is great. I mean, let's do away with all the other races and just make a very diverse looking humans, right? Like we already have. So, I mean, I love how in the essence is that you can make your own race in Tasha's Cauldron. I love that. I really do. And I'm gonna run a campaign where all the players could just literally make their own race and stuff like that. So get creative. Go for it, you know. And I think that's great. But again, I wonder, what do you think about that? You know, if people make these so-called the trope races, right? You know, the dwarf, the elves, the halflings, and yet they role play them like humans, and they don't hold on to any aspect of the backgrounds of those races. I mean, what do you think? Do you think they should? Do you think that they shouldn't? Why don't you just comment below and let me know what you think? All right? All right. Thank you.